Hello students, this is Dr. Lakshmi Pandey, Assistant Professor, Department of English, DAV College, Kanpur. This PPT is designed for the students of BA first year according to new education policy. It tells you about the second chapter of Unit 5th, Under the Banyan Tree by R.K. Narayan. It is the first part of this PPT that tells you about the novelist R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan is one of the greatest novelists in Indian writing in English. He is also a leading writer of short stories. He is a writer who writes for his artistic satisfaction, means he writes art for art's sake. He never used art as a medium to serve for social purposes. He wrote 10 novels and almost 100 short stories. He is a creative artist. As we all know, he is the creator of Malgudi, and through this creation, he brought Malgudi on Indian map. Through this work, he has shown his imagination that knows no bound, and at the same time, he has filled the people of this region with reality. So, a fine blend of imagination and reality can be seen throughout this work. He reminds us Thomas Hardy's Wessex novels and Bennett's Pottery Town. Malgudi is called a symbol of India as he shares through it Indian sensitivity, culture and tradition. We also find simple and unheroic characters who come from middle-class society, but with the power of his art, he gives life to all his characters. So, all in all, he creates the story of day-to-day life with sorrow and happiness. He handles very simple themes with his extraordinary artistic grace. A gradual development of an artist can be seen through the psychic revelation of the characters. He goes deep into the human heart and explores the hidden feelings and desires. Narayan is also known for his humor and irony. His humor has such a magnetic power which connects the reader from the beginning to the end. The second slide contains the critical appreciation of the story Under the Banyan Tree by R.K. Narayan. The story Under the Banyan Tree by R.K. Narayan describes about a village named Somal with a population of less than 300 people. Through this story, he represents the typical Indian village of that period when people were not so conscious about the cleanliness of their surroundings. The writer ironically brings the true picture of Indian village where the same tank was used for several purposes like drinking, bathing and washing the cattle. So, naturally, due to lack of hygienic consciousness, the tank was the mother of various diseases like typhoid and malaria. The village had no proper drainage system, so at the background of every house, we can see puddles of stagnant water. Nambi, the main character of the story, was an enchanter who made them forget about the harsh realities of their surroundings. He was an extraordinary storyteller who used to carry them away from the realities of the village to some distant imaginative world by his artistic power of telling stories. People were very indifferent and insensitive about their surroundings that even social reformers had no hope for the betterment of that village. Nambi, the storyteller, was illiterate, but he had the gift of creating amazing stories. It was difficult for anyone to estimate about his age. If anyone asked about his age, he used to refer some old famine or an attack from outside or the building of a bridge. People had no idea how he came at that place and made the temple his home. He had only a couple of dhotis, upper clothes, and a broom to sweep the temple. There was a temple in front of the banyan tree, and Nambi used to entertain the villagers through that place. He also informed the people that he had to contemplate and meditate so that Goddess Shakti could bless him a new story. To show his supremacy among the villagers, he used to tell the people that he had to go do hard work to frame the story. The story has been written earlier when there were no means of communication. So, as we have today. So he used to lit a lamp and place in a hollow space under the trunk of banyan tree to inform them about a new story. Through this sign, people used to inform each other about the new story of Nambi. Usually, with every new moon, Nambi used to tell a new story. This process went smoothly for years. But one day, an unusual incident happened. One day, by doing the same process, Nambi started telling the story of Vikramaditya and his ministers. But all of a sudden, he stopped at one point, repeated the same sentence again and again, but found lack of words. He prayed Goddess Shakti, but all in vain. He could not reconnect again to the story. Nambi was dumbstruck and disappointed. Next day again, he lit a lamp and villagers once again assembled at that very place, but even then he could not continue the story again. People again went away. On the next day, Nambi personally went to villagers to invite them for a new story. And people also happy that he regained his power again. But instead of telling a story, he told them that jasmine was useless without its fragrance, and there was no use of a lamp when the oil was gone. These were the last words that was told by Nambi, but villagers could not understand what is the essence of these words. Nambi became silent and he used to walk into any cottage he liked and sit silently for food. The writer thus reveals that an artist, when loses his power one day, so one should understand if such time comes, a wise artist should stop rather than drag that thing throughout the life. This third slide tells you about the prominent character of the story named Nambi. Nambi was an exceptional storyteller who entertains the villagers with his fictitious stories and leaves them spellbound. He had a unique way of telling stories. He had also the capacity to involve his audience emotionally in his stories and could transform them to a very distant imaginative world. Nambi was illiterate but enjoyed love, trust, and confidence of the people of the village. Nambi created a mystery about his age and personality. He lived in a temple and nobody knew how and when he came at that place. He was an atheist. He used to worship and offer fruits and flowers to the goddess Shakti. He admitted openly that because of the grace of goddess, he could frame such fabulous stories. There were some incidents in the story that informed he was a whimsical fellow. When somebody asked about his age, he used to reply in a very casual manner. He also said stories did not float in the air. He had to contemplate and meditate for those stories. In spite of all, Nambi was a respectable person of the village. Whenever he felt hungry, he would walk into any house he liked. Villagers used to give him new clothes also. Nambi was the only source of entertainment for the whole village. He had the capacity to collect the people of the village through his art of telling stories.